Alrighty guys, what's going on everybody? Welcome back here to another live stream. I hope everyone's having a fantastic evening. Hope everyone's doing good out there. So we are going to be doing a bit of an update on the storm here. I am a little bit sick. I've been starting to come down with something for the last day or so. And I took a nap and I woke up and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm starting to feel pretty bad. So hopefully that'll be over with soon. But what's up everybody? Hope everyone's doing good. Just wanted to mention that if I sound a little bit different. What's up, Kim? Saying, hey, Andrew, what's up? What's up, Rain? What's up, Velocity? Isaac, Roadster Jim, Athena, Velocity. Let's see here. Hope everyone's doing good. Like I said, glad to have y'all here. So, we got some new updates. First of all, let's take a look here at the overall probability for development here. This currently we have a 50% chance overall probability. This was at a 60. They did drop it due to a little bit more of lack in support, which is good. The previous spaghetti model runs and everything like that was kind of showing a bit more disagreement in the models regarding, you know, the system's overall well-being. So right now we have a overall 50% chance of development within the next 7 days overall. So we'll keep an eye out there for that. Now throughout the next 48 hours or the next 2 days, the system does have a 30% chance of becoming a tropical cyclone, whether that be in a depression or a tropical storm. Throughout the next, like I said, throughout the next 2 days or 48 hours, we have ourselves a 30% chance overall. I do want my folks to be weather aware. Once again, you know, it would not hurt to start prepping, you know, even if this thing turns out to be a dud, which is a possibility. You know, this is a very difficult storm to forecast because, you know, we're not entirely too sure how the storm's going to handle itself once it gets into this moisture-filled environment. Right now, like we mentioned before on previous live streams and everything like that, it's actually currently battling a bit of dry air. It's looking a little bit better than it did. Let's take a look at the full screen here. It's looking a little bit better than it did, but still, you know, we're still in relatively dry air for the most part. Take a look here at the water vapor. You can see some of the surrounding areas are more in the dark shade. So we're not quite in this environment where we have a lot of moisture. It's pretty dry for the most part. Therefore, the storm's kind of, you know, struggling just a little bit, you know, trying to get going and everything. So that's what I'm saying. You know, this storm is a little bit more of a difficult system. There's a lot of moving parts in this one. And now regarding the track and stuff like that, models are pretty consistent in terms of where the storm's going to end up going. Here's the spaghetti models you guys can actually see there. Let's zoom out just a little bit so you guys can see the full picture here. But yeah, I mean, you guys can see the spaghetti models here, and it looks like the storm's going to continue going west here for the next several days. Right around the 48-hour mark, so about 2 days from now, we'll be approaching the Antilles out there, in which the storm could go over, if not right near those Virgin Islands out there. The models really want this thing passing north of Puerto Rico, and there's been some talk of maybe potential landfall out there towards like the Dominican Republic or Haiti. That's still too early to tell. Models are still kind of up and down right now. So we'll definitely be monitoring that absolutely for the next couple of days. And there's been a handful of models that shows it kind of squeezing between Cuba and Haiti. Regarding its track and everything right now, models are pretty dialed in for the most part. There's been some minor adjustments over the last couple of updates that we've seen. So track is still not perfectly final, but it does look like the majority of the models has the storm kind of going right next to areas like Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and out there towards like the Leeward Islands overall. So we'll definitely keep an eye on it overall. Let's see. Do I think it will upgrade to a high risk of development? As of right now, there's no indicator of that. Matter of fact, there's actually been a little bit of losing support, which is good. It seems like a lot of the models are not really suggesting this thing being anything super, super crazy. This is the latest spaghetti model intensity guidance, and you can see that there's barely any more support of this thing being a hurricane, which is really good news. So things are actually lowering in overall probability. Majority of the models, though, as you can still see, do show the system getting up into tropical storm force. That does seem to be quite likely at this point. We could maybe reach maybe low, mid-end tropical storm. That's kind of what we're thinking right now regarding regarding the system here. So we'll definitely just keep on watching it. We still have a couple of days before it reaches these areas. That's what I was saying, in the beginning here, guys. If you all live out there in the Virgin Islands, out there by the Leeward Islands there in the Antilles, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Haiti, southern Bahamas, eastern Cuba, and maybe even now Jamaica. Just monitor the storm. Some of these areas out, more towards like the Virgin Islands, the Leeward Islands, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and Haiti. Those areas I would start prepping if you could. Once again, there's a chance that this thing could just be a dud storm and doesn't do much at all. Regardless, we're expecting a lot of heavy rain with this system in some spots, so prepare for that. But it just wouldn't hurt to, like I said, it just really wouldn't hurt to go out, maybe grab a case or two of water, get some non-perishable foods. Like I said, if you're not going to use it, if you're not going to need it for the storm, say this thing doesn't turn out to be anything super crazy at all and you won't need it, you're still going to end up eating that supply at some point. So it's like, don't look at it as a useless thing. Just try to get it as early as you can, because as we know how crazy weather can be, sometimes these events can be a little bit stronger than what we forecasted and what we thought they would be. So it's better to prepare for the worst, hope for the best. And like I said, right now at this point in time, it looks like we are seeing a little bit of a loss in model guidance regarding its strength. So that's good. That is good overall. So we'll definitely keep an eye on it. Let's see here. Rocket says feel better. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Velocity. Let's see here. Prevention is better than cure. Yeah. I mean, like I mentioned, it would be a smart thing to just grab an extra case of water or two next time you go out. Like I mentioned, the storm's going to be roughly in these waters here about 48 hours from now. So we still have a couple days before the storm gets there, and we're going to really learn more about the system whenever it tracks its way into more of that moisture. Like I mentioned, right now it's just kind of struggling a little bit. Here, we're going to bring up our data here. We're going to pull up our satellite. I do have satellite imagery on this program too, so we'll go ahead and do that. But let's see. Florida sector, we don't want that. We want an Atlantic basin here. Yeah, this is going to be our the one we want to use, and we're gonna hop to mid-level water vapor here as well. But like I mentioned, yeah, you can see that there is a fair amount of dry air around the storm here. This is where the storm is at right now. and its overall environment, there is some drier air kind of getting pulled into the storm there. But once we work our way out there towards more of these waters, in the forecast, some of the moisture is going to be increasing, and therefore the storm is going to kind of potentially allow for the storm to start going up in convection and stuff like that. So let's see. Quentin says my relative humidity probe is wigging out. I have a bad feeling about this. What? Like my sensor? Is it going bad or something? What is it doing? Let me pull it up real quickly. What is it doing? I'm curious now. Whoa. Oh, buddy. What the heck? Oh, that's not good. My dew point probe showing negative 30. We got a problem, Houston. that's not. Oh my gosh, dude. What the heck? You love that 0.05% humidity. Yeah, Quinn, we'll talk about that after stream if you want to. That's a little concerning. I'm gonna go check it outside too, make sure there's nothing visually wrong with it. Anyways, but yeah, like I said, we'll definitely be monitoring the storm here. There's a chance that this storm could be a dud. So that's good news. But it's better to prepare for the worst and hope for the best. And so, once again, it wouldn't hurt if you live out there by the Virgin Islands, the Leeward Islands out there in the Antilles, out there towards Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, and Haiti, just to keep an eye on the storm there overall. So. Let's see here. Jared says straight for the Gulf. Right now this thing doesn't seem like it's going to be an issue for the states. It's been a common question. There's a lot of misinformation, and I posted this on Twitter earlier too. It's ridiculous of how many people are making up weather and they're scaring people, trying to make them believe that something's coming when it's really not. I've seen it myself. I'm going to go ahead and clear things up here with you guys. There is currently not any threat for any tropical activity for the U.S. throughout the next little bit. Obviously, we are still in hurricane season, so we can't guarantee that the rest of the season there won't be any tropical activity in the U.S., but for right now, there's currently no active threat. We're not really seeing any storms coming towards Florida. That's been a big thing that people have been kind of, this has been kind of a big thing that a lot of people have been just making up about. It's so sad, dude. People are literally making up, things saying that, for example, people are saying that there's another storm heading for Florida when there's not, just for the money. And I cannot tell you how ridiculous it is, and the fact that it freaks people out too. I'm in Florida. We got slammed. We had Helene, and then now we had Milton. We're getting beat up over here, and these people, they're using basically. They're basically just saying that there's another storm coming when there's not. So please just be careful where you get your information from. Try not to let it like I said, try not to let it worry you. Right now, I can tell you there's not any threat for Florida right now. Okay, so keep that in mind. The only threat for Florida right now is that cold air coming in. Us Floridians, we don't really like cold air too much, but like I said, it's just ridiculous, dude. The amount of people that just fearmonger and give misinformation just for clicks. I can name you a whole bunch of people who do it, but I'm not gonna do that because I'm not the type of person that likes drama. But anyways, moving on. I just wanted to mention that because it is something that needs to be addressed, is that there is people out there that's literally making up things just for the money, and it's ridiculous. So once again, you hear it from me. There's currently no active threat for Florida. There's no active threat for anywhere along the U.S. coast for any tropical cyclone right now. Okay? You heard it here. If it becomes an issue, like I said, if there is a storm that does threaten any area of land in the U.S., we'll talk about it. Of course, we always do. But right now, once again, no threat. Now, the thing is, though, is the Caribbean. That's kind of the region where we just need to, keep an eye out there for. We'll definitely be monitoring this. Once again, it wouldn't hurt to grab an extra case of water or some, non-perishable goods out there towards the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico. There's a good chance that this storm could be a dud, but like I said, it's better to prepare for the worst than to not be prepared at all. So we'll just definitely keep an eye out there for those regions there. Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, they are vultures. It's so sad, dude. Like, I've literally had people come to me and being like, "Is there gonna be a hurricane heading to Florida? I heard that there is." And it's like, dude, no, there's not another hurricane heading to Florida right now. And it annoys me to death, the amount of people who are making up these scenarios and making money off of it for people's fear. I cannot tell you how much that bothers me. It is ridiculous. But anyways, moving on. But, like I said, it would not hurt just to grab an extra case of water, too, out there in the Caribbean, out there for these islands towards the Virgin Islands. Once again, the Lesser Antilles, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Haiti, just some of those regions. I want you guys to be monitoring the storm. There is still a lot we don't understand about it. Like I said, there's a lot of moving parts here, a lot of things that we're not really too confident on quite yet. Remember the track, the models have this track. It's a pretty good amount of agreement. You have a couple of models that have it going much further south, but the main majority has it kind of going north of the leewards, north of the Virgin Islands here. So we'll definitely keep you guys posted. Let's see here. Those people are fear-mongering, sounding an alarm for dangerous storms, not necessarily fear. It is fear-mongering. And like I said, for making up storms, saying that they're going to be hitting, like I said, this is not going to happen, but there's people that are making up storms saying that Florida is going to get hit, and that's not fear mongering. What? Like I mentioned, it's just ridiculous, dude. Please just be careful where you get your info from. And once again, you hear it here. There's no active threat for anywhere in the U.S. coast for any tropical activity. Right now, like I said, the only area that's of concern in the tropics right now in the Atlantic is just the Caribbean. We do have a little area down there in South Mexico. It's just going to be more rain than anything. Really no hurricane or tropical storm expectancy in that storm. This one here, it possibly could become a tropical storm. Worst case scenario, maybe a low-end hurricane. Like I said, the models are still kind of all over the place regarding the storm here, so that's that. What model am I using on the top left? This? This is satellite imagery. This is real-time data. Yeah, this is an active satellite loop right now for the Atlantic, Caribbean, and Gulf. Not a model. Let's see here, Nancy. Yeah, it's sad, dude. It's sad, This world has gotten very evil, and it bothers me a lot seeing that, and to have some of my viewers come on here like scared to death, wondering that there's another storm coming to Florida. It's like, dude, no. Just please be careful, guys. Please be careful. But yeah, moving on. So, the track, like I mentioned, majority of the track, or majority of the models have this thing tracking just north of the Virgin Islands, north of Puerto Rico. Like I mentioned, we're going to definitely keep an eye out there for this for the next couple of days. Right now, like I said, it's battling dry air. It's kind of struggling a bit. Whenever we push our way into like the late 17th, early 18th, that's when we're going to be rolling our way into more moisture. And once we do so, then that's when the storm can start to breathe. That's when the storm can start to, pick up in potential intensity and stuff like that. So we'll monitor it. Let's take a look at some of those individual models here. We're going to pull those up here at the moment. We're going to take a look at the HWRF first. Now remember, take this with a grain of salt. I always say this, try to remember to say this every time we look at models. Do not trust these models for what they are. Just get an idea based off of what they are suggesting. For example, we're going to look at a couple models and what you want to do and how you read models. Not many people explain this. How you read models is you look at what the models agree on and you trash what they disagree on. So there's some people that look for the worst case scenario and be like, oh, yep, that's what's going to happen. That's not true. So please just take one model, with a grain of salt. Take it very lightly. because these models are crazy. They can say one thing, one run, and then the next thing be completely gone. So, all right, here's HWRF showing the thing really struggling until we kind of approach just north of the Virgin Islands. You can see there's Puerto Rico. This is right around October 18th. At this point in time, we do have a lot more available moisture to us, so we can get that convection. We can get that thunderstorm activity kicking off out there. If we go back in the previous track, you see how there's a lot of kind of brownish tan here. That's all dry air. This is all dry air. This is moisture-filled air. So right now there's going to be a bit of a dry air kind of, just basically preventing the storm from really doing much. But it's going to really start to kind of gather a lot of moisture once we approach just like north of the Virgin Islands, just north of Puerto Rico there. There is a little bit of a road for potential strengthening. This model has it scraping the Dominican Republic, going near Haiti, then kind of squeezing between Cuba and Haiti, going right towards Jamaica. Once again, take this model with a grain of salt. There still is. This is completely different than what the model was suggesting this morning. I'll tell you that. Let's actually look at this morning's run from the 12 Zulu. This morning's run showed the storm. Here, let's take a look at that center track. This morning run had a direct landfall into the Dominican Republic, going into Haiti, and then crossing back out there just before getting near Jamaica. And of course, the model run before that showed this thing much stronger, and then of course the model run before that showed this thing an absolute beast, I believe. Or was it the model before that one? Regardless, y'all, and the models are just, there you go. That was a crazy model run. You can see that there's just big differences still in the models and everything like that. So there's still a lot of uncertainty. Once again, there's a lot of moving parts with the storm here. Dry air is going to be one of the main problems with this system here. And, we're just going to have to see how the storm reacts. If need be, send out hurricane hunters out there to kind of investigate the storm itself and the surrounding area, surrounding the perimeter around the storm too, to kind of see what the storm's ingesting. So we're going to probably need that at some point, if once it gets a little bit closer. Remember, it is an invest, and absolutely hurricane hunters can indeed investigate invests. Once an invest is classified, or once it's declared, I should say, that is when some of those hurricane hunter missions can start to investigate it if need be, as well as that's also whenever, the main hurricane models run as well. So remember, it is an invest now. It's 94L. That's invest number at 94L. So that's kind of what we're seeing there. In which as it gets closer to these areas, would not be surprised if we get a couple missions just going out to investigate it, just to look at what the storm's ingesting. Dry air wise, whatever. They'll look at the perimeter around the storm, and they'll actually study the storm itself too to see how it's doing internally. And so once we kind of figure that out, and once we get to more moisture, which the models are, suggesting, once we get to that moisture, that's whenever the storm is actually expected to start, kicking up in intensity and stuff like that, which that'll be right around the 18th or so, kind of like what the models were suggesting overall. All right, let's hop back over here actually, I forgot to change the scenes. I thought we were looking down here. Whatever. All right, let's take a look here at the HMON. This model has been having a hard time kind of grasping the storm. That's what I'm saying. Kind of take these with a grain of salt. Once again, don't take one model in particular, too seriously. Yeah, still having trouble. So the HMON latest model run, you can see it really doesn't have a grasp on the storm. But like I mentioned, regardless, this could just still bring a lot of rainfall. You can see some, pretty heavy rates potentially falling along some of these regions here. So regardless of what it did, or what it does, there's still likely going to be a bit of rainfall with this system. PWAT values, a lot of you guys probably won't know what that is, but indicating higher values, potential heavier rainfall rates and stuff like that. Could be associated with this regardless. So expect a rainstorm, and that's what I'm saying. There's a chance that this thing could be a dud as well. Models have actually been downtrending a little bit since earlier this morning whenever we did our update. The models are going down, which is good, meaning that there is more belief in the storm that it might be a little bit weaker. But like I said, regardless of whatever strength it is, tropical storm, hurricane, or depression, there's still going to be a bit of rain associated with it, in which we're going to have to watch that. There's going to be a little bit of flooding and stuff like that in some of those areas, especially the low-lying regions. You can see for yourself, based off of these models here, there's going to be a lot of rain and, potentially a lot of, heavy precipitation, big rates falling too, which could easily allow for some of those regions to start flooding. So we'll keep an eye on the precip amounts. It's a little too early to tell exactly how much rain, but I do believe that rain will be a potential issue with the storm. All right, here's HAFSA, another model that's kind of struggling to kind of grasp the storm here overall. Regardless, like I mentioned, still a lot of scattered heavy thunderstorms, once again, allowing for potential flooding and stuff like that. It looks like a lot of that rain is going to start to appear on the 17th, going into the 18th, out there in those Eastern Caribbean islands. HAFSB, I believe, also kind of agrees as well. Just a bunch of, literally just a bunch of heavy rainfall for some of those regions there. We got GFS here. Here's the latest GFS. I think even GFS is losing support for the storm here, which is good. So certainly is very good to see. Absolutely. And like I mentioned, there is a chance that this storm could be a dud, but there's also a chance that this thing could be a tropical storm, maybe a low-end hurricane. That's kind of where we stand. It just depends on how the storm interacts with that moisture once we continue pushing west. And so we're just going to keep on investigating it, and we'll keep an eye out there for that and everything. So, we'll make sure to keep you guys weather aware and prepared and stuff like that. But, all right. Well, guys, honestly, like I mentioned, I'm probably going to roll off here right now. Like I said, I'm actually a little bit sick. Like I said, I'm coming down with something. I've been sick for like the last day or so, but I took a nap and I woke up and now I feel terrible. So I'm just going to roll off here. Once again, we'll keep you guys posted. I'll do another update for you guys tomorrow. Obviously, the closer we get to the event, the more that we can study it and stuff like that. So, once again, regardless, just prep for a lot of rainfall. That's going to be a good possibility. Heavy rainfall rates could lead to some flooding in those low-lying areas. Once again, if you live out there in the Leeward Islands, up in the Antilles, the Virgin Islands, if you live out there in the Dominican Republic, out there towards Puerto Rico, Haiti, even eastern Cuba, southern Bahamas, and maybe Jamaica, keep an eye on the storm here, and it would not hurt to maybe grab an extra case of water or like I said, grab an extra case of water, grab some non-perishable foods, just to be safe. Like I said, there is a chance this thing could be a dud, and not much of a storm overall. But there is also that chance where this thing could become a tropical storm, maybe even a low-end hurricane. So we'll have to just see how that plays out. Once again, there's a lot of moving parts with this storm here. There's a lot of things that we are going to need to watch for the next couple of days and just kind of see how it interacts with the atmosphere. Right now, it's kind of struggling, like I said, due to the fact that there is still a decent abundance of dry air. If we take a look back at the satellite imagery, there's the system right there, but you see there's a big swath of dry air that's kind of right in the inflow there. Once again, this is kind of getting sucked its way into that storm there. So there's some dry air wrapping around the storm here, and that's going to help kind of limit the development. But as the forecast model suggests, and as things go, it looks like that as we approach our way out there towards towards the Antilles and stuff like that, that's when it's going to be rolling into more moisture, and that's theoretically whenever the storm's going to start to maybe pick up some intensity and start to strengthen a bit. Okay. Alrighty, everybody. Let's see. We all storm nerds here. Andrew, thanks for the coverage. Yeah, no problem, man. Glad to help out. Let's see here. Thank you, James. I appreciate that. I'm out. See you later, Samuel. Appreciate you. James says, thanks for your help and updates, bro, from Florida. No problem, man. No problem at all. Thank you, Samuel. Appreciate it. But all right, everybody. Well, I'm going to go ahead and roll off here for now. Sorry about the short little update. We've got a 30-minute update out there for you guys this evening. Once again, we'll do another update tomorrow on the system. Like I said, I would go a little bit longer, but like I said, I'm kind of feeling terrible right now. I've definitely been coming down with something. Took a nap, and I woke up, and I'm like, whoa, dude. But, all right, everybody. Well, thanks for joining. Once again, remember, there's no threat for U.S. landfall right now. That's the main question. There's a lot of fear-mongers out there we were talking about earlier. Please try to calm down. There's nothing coming to Florida right now or anywhere in the U.S. coast. Like I said, the only areas that need to be watching right now is out there in the Caribbean. Once again, last time I'm going to mention this for now, it would not hurt to grab an extra case of water or non-perishable foods if you live out there in the Leeward Islands and the Antilles, the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic, Haiti, southern Bahamas, eastern Cuba, maybe Jamaica, just to keep an eye on it, just to make sure that you guys are watching it. Once again, this thing could be a dud storm. Bit of a summary. It could be a dud storm. Could just be nothing but rain, or it could be a tropical cyclone. So there still is a lot we need to learn with it. But all right, everybody, thanks for joining. Hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. If you haven't already, consider leaving a like, subscribing, and most importantly, sharing this to your friends, your family, whoever you can, just to help spread that word out there. And alrighty, everybody, thanks for joining. Once again, we'll catch you guys tomorrow for an update. I'll go live tomorrow morning on our YouTube Shorts live stream, and then, of course, tomorrow evening we'll do what we're doing right now and go live on the main platform here. But alrighty, everybody, thanks for joining, guys. Y'all take care. Have a wonderful rest of your night, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Peace out, my friends. See you later.